Let me ask you this. What is your basic definition of capitalism, socialism, communism?
Socialism is meaningless for me. I don't like the word because everybody likes to be socialist today in a vague sense. Yeah, society should take care for everybody. I mean by communism, nothing totalitarian and so on, not central committee rules or whatever, but simply such a reorganization of economy which consciously violates market principles. That the motive of production is no longer profit. We should, for example, now when Trump is talking about getting out of the lockdown and start moving the economy. But my idea is, of course, we cannot sit all the time in a lockdown. But here already I have a first problem. I've written about it. For some of us to be safely in lockdown, quite many things have to go on. We discovered this. Healthcare, food distribution, and so on and so on. But more important, we should, violating market principles, prioritize things on which our survival as a normal civilized society depends. It's what I say, healthcare. Forget about our hospitals profitable and so on and so on. We need an immensely stronger healthcare system. We need to guarantee food distribution and so on. I'm just talking about this. I'm not saying state should own everything and so on. No, just it has to be somehow coordinated, socially coordinated.
Then
you don't believe
talking about communism, but then that you're not talking about the communism that Marx and Engels are talking about in the Communist Manifesto.
They were very ambiguous, Marx and Engels. They were very ambiguous. Marx was fanatically insecure and never provided definitive formulas. You know, his only moment of enthusiasm was the Paris Commune. But the Paris Commune was really more an anarchist thing, local communities, and so on and so on and so on. No, but that's my irony. When you ask me about communism, I will tell you what the states are doing today. These are already elements of what I call communism. We don't have time for respirator, for masks, to play all the market game. This simply has to be done. It's a matter of survival. That's what I'm talking about.
But that's two different. So let me ask you this. I want to be specific with you here because the premise, the foundation of communism in the book Communist Manifesto, the 10 points, you know the 10 points. I'll go through them. I just don't think you agree with all these 10 points.
No.
Number one is abolition of property and land and application of all rents and land to public purposes. A heavy progressive and graduated income tax, which I think you probably agree with. Abolition of all rights of inheritance. So inheritance, you don't get any of it. Confiscation of the property of all immigrants and rebels. Equal liability of all to labor and establishment of industrial armies, especially for agriculture. The gradual abolition of distinction between town and country. Free education for all children in public schools. Eliminating child labor, which you probably agree with. Centralization of credit in the hands of the state. The state would control communication and transportation. The state factories and instruments of production would cultivate wasteland and improve the soil. Which of those 10 do you disagree with?
First, I will tell you surprisingly, with which I a little bit agree. All good ecologists admit that one of the reasons of our ecological predicament is this imbalance between city and countryside. When societies were organized in a more provincial way, all the sewage, waste, and so on, all the minerals were basically returned to land. Now, products go from land, agricultural products, to the city. So we have to fertilize land. And on the other hand, we have all the sewage, garbage, and so on. So I don't think this is even a specifically communist demand, this last one. But again, don't focus too much on Communist Manifesto. It was never my favorite text. I define capitalism simply as a system of production where, and it was up to a point very successful, where the idea is that it will be most productive for society, most efficient to satisfy society's needs, if the motive is profit, self-valuation, circulation of capital, expansion, and so on and so on. I think we are now in a situation where we cannot rely on that. And I think it's not just a permanent, a short-time crisis, like they say, but it was similar in World War II. Roosevelt has to order production of aircraft, tanks, whatever. I think this situation will last. And I think that's my secret hope. This does not mean, okay, we will all become China. It can be done in a more open, flexible way than the Chinese are doing.